that are sure to captivate the imagination. Shall we dive straight into the heart of the matter? To begin, allow me to present this exquisite piece. My 29-year-old husband is encouraging me to explore a night of passion with her enchanting friend who is 27. There's an intriguing uncertainty swirling within me, a delicate hesitation about whether to take that dare step. My wife and I have shared 3 beautiful years of marriage and a decade of togetherness, creating what I believe to be a strong bond and an intimate connection. Once upon a time, she inquired whether there was anyone among our shared circle of friends who captured my interest. I whispered to her that my gaze was solely captivated by her enchanting presence. She declared her intentions with a fervor that was both captivating and daring, expressing a desire to uncover the identities behind the whispers. I chose to remain silent. She persistently coaxed me to reveal my secret, and in a moment of weakness I surrendered and whispered a name. She then inquired if I would share her bed for the night. I assured her, with a hint of playful defiance, that such a notion was utterly out of the question. She then inquired if I would, were we not bound by vows. I maintained my refusal. My beloved accused me of deceit, her insistence urging me to reveal a truth I dared not speak. Once more I surrendered to the moment and whispered my consent. If my heart weren't already entwined with hers, I might find myself drawn to her friend in a most intriguing way, and thus the dialogue gracefully drew to a close. In recent months, whispers of that friend have danced through our conversations. My wife has been making comparisons to her, often remarking on how that friend possesses a more alluring figure or is more generously endowed. I shall forever whisper sweet reassurances of her beauty, though she remains unconvinced by my heartfelt declarations. It seems she is quite distressed by my words, perhaps even feeling a twinge of jealousy towards her friend who has so effortlessly captured my interest. 3 weeks ago, my wife suggested a delightful rendezvous between me and her enchanting friend. I was utterly astonished and inquired with a hint of disbelief about what she was alluding to. She then confided that she was aware of my desires, sensing the allure I found in her beauty, which she believed surpassed that of others. With a knowing smile, she assured me that she would be unfazed if we were to share an intimate moment just once. I gently expressed to her that her words seemed a bit wild and that my heart was not drawn to her friend. She then whispered that it wouldn't sting her heart if I were, and she truly believes I should embrace her enticing proposal. I gently declined her invitation, yet she boldly inquired if I might reconsider. Once more I found myself gently declining her friend's advances. I inquired about her desires behind this choice. She insisted it wasn't an unusual desire, merely a longing for my complete satisfaction. I confessed to her that sharing my bed with another woman was simply out of the question. She had been subtly urging me to take the step for some time, and she even confided that her friend is receptive to the idea, which leaves me feeling a touch unsettled that she shared this with her. She seems quite determined for me to fulfill this request, and her persistence is rather intriguing. The allure of temptation whispers, sweetly urging me to surrender, yet my heart remains steadfast, devoted solely to my beloved wife Jordan. It seems she is quite supportive of my entanglement with a friend who stir her envy. This is quite an intriguing predicament, and I find myself utterly bewildered. Is there anyone who can shed light on her intriguing nature? What course of action should I take then? New developments. I took the time to carefully craft my words, ensuring that my emotions would be conveyed with the utmost clarity and elegance. What I expressed was my beloved's name. My affection for you surpasses all else in this universe. You are the only one I desire. With a heart full of devotion, I vowed to you that I would be yours and yours alone for all the days of our lives. That is precisely what I desire. I have no desire to pursue a relationship with your friend she pales. In comparison to the depths of what you signify in my life, whisper to me the reasons behind your actions, even if the truth stings, like a bittersweet memory I find myself yearning to understand. The reasons behind it all, text regardless of the challenges we face, my love for you remains unwavering and will only deepen as we navigate through them together. I simply desire your utmost honesty with me. That fateful evening, I dared to confront her. After sharing my thoughts with the world once we had both finished our day at work, she began to shed tears, her emotions spilling forth like a delicate secret waiting to be unveiled. She whispered her apologies, her voice laced with a hint of regret, confessing that she was utterly powerless to resist the allure of her own nature. I wept alongside her, enveloping her in tender solace. Once the tears had dried, she revealed the reasons behind her daring choice. Contrary to what some may have suggested, she was not being disloyal to me. In truth, she believed that the contrary would unfold in due time. She said, I prefer this arrangement as it means you can indulge with her, knowing she won't attempt to claim you for herself. I was utterly captivated by her audacity in saying something so unexpected. I inquired softly why she believed that anyone could ever steal me away from her embrace. She confided that after a decade of our exclusive union, she feared I might tire of her and seek the thrill of new encounters, a thought that danced on the edge of her mind. With a hint of mischief, I whispered to her that my heart would never tire of her presence and she would remain my one and only for all eternity. She confided in me her understanding of the nature of men, expressing her concern that as the years pass I might be tempted to stray with someone more youthful. She confided in me, revealing her feelings of being less than alluring. She confided in me about her recent weight gain, a detail that hardly stirred my heart, and expressed her uncertainty about whether she could manage the feat with grace. She captivates me in the intimacy of our shared nights for all eternity. I expressed to her how extraordinary she is in our intimate moments, leaving me utterly captivated each and every time. I then assured her that even if our intimacy remained unfulfilled, I would never seek solace in the arms of a younger woman. Once more she wept against my shoulder, her voice trembling as she expressed disbelief that I could still desire her after a decade. I reaffirmed my devotion to her, declaring that she is the sole enchantress I desire for all eternity. At this moment, I am gently urging her to seek therapy for her own well-being, and together we shall explore the possibility of couples counseling. I believe this is merely a minor bump in our journey together, yet seeking a touch of professional guidance could add a delightful layer of understanding. How delightful this seems, and I do wish for it to remain so. Wrapped in the allure of blissful possibilities, it would be wise to tread carefully, dear Grace. She desired for you to indulge with her friends, allowing her the freedom to pursue her own passions without a trace of remorse. I mention this only because I have witnessed it all unfold in the past. Explore the myriad of enchanting videos we've created just for you, Jordan. I find myself wishing that this is not the reality and that the two of you continue to bask in your blissful union. Wishing you all the best in your enchanting journey ahead, dear Well, my dear friends, that was quite the peculiar relationship, wasn't it? Do take a moment to indulge in this next offering. My former lover, a dashing 28-year-old gentleman, attempted to undermine my enchanting 24-year-old self, a blossoming romance. I find myself in a rather peculiar state of mind regarding it. To cut a long tale short, my former lover and I shared a passionate connection for nearly 4 enchanting years. My affection for him ran deep, yet our connection was undeniably fraught with turmoil. I had been aware of it for quite some time. As we approached the conclusion, our connection deepened in a most delightful way. We embarked on a romantic getaway, dreaming of a future together, yet the shadows of toxic behaviors lingered, casting a PA over our elegant plans. He would abruptly end our conversations when emotions ran intoxicated, allowing anger to seep into our exchanges. At times he would turn a cold shoulder, leaving me in silence, and ultimately he severed our connection entirely, casting me aside with harsh words and a demand to forget him. In the minds of many, that suggests he has chosen to part ways with me. At that moment, I had reached my limit. How could I possibly share an apartment with someone who behaves in such a manner, even if my heart yearns for them? I desire a sanctuary that whispers tranquility rather than echoes of turmoil. Thus, I complied with his request. Alas, his number has slipped through my fingers. I simply chose to keep him at a distance. Months later, a dear friend and I found ourselves entwined in a relationship that feels refreshingly unique. Our friendship has blossomed over the years, and I find myself enveloped in a delightful sense of joy when I am with him. Just 2 days after our union, my former flame unexpectedly surfaced through his mother's Facebook account, bidding me farewell with heartfelt declarations of his enduring love. I stepped out of my home only to discover that my former lover had returned, leaving behind every token of affection I had ever bestowed upon him. How utterly captivating. Naturally, I would have preferred that he either discard them entirely or keep them for himself. It was rather delightful, a charming experience indeed. After that, I sent him a message sharing my thoughts and bidding him farewell. A few days later, I received a call from his friend revealing that he was in a rather troubling state, neglecting his meals and all that entails. My heart ached with concern, so I reached out to him, eager to see how he was faring. Our conversation led to an enchanting encounter where I found myself in his presence, exchanging words face to face. He whispered his desire for my return, professing his love and promising that this time he would make me his bride. I was utterly taken aback. I spent nearly 4 years yearning for the promise of engagement. He understood the depth of my feelings, and now that I found a new love, he's eager to make me his forever. It was utterly bewildering. I gently reminded him that there are many facets of himself that could use some refinement, and so do I. With a heart full of longing, grace, if fate has its way, it shall unfold as intended. I mentioned perhaps a year or two in my thoughts. I find myself contemplating, if you truly desire marriage, I am willing to embrace that path, but only when the moment is right. We must ensure that the undesirable elements are elegantly swept away. He becomes furious at the thought of my relationship, accusing me of betrayal, yet I remind him that it was he who chose to end our relationship. He sends me sweet nothings, his temper flaring when I leave him in silence, crafting elaborate roses to catch my attention. On Instagram, I suggested that perhaps we could start as friends and gradually rekindle the connection we once shared. One fateful day, he sends me a captivating screenshot of my boyfriend and me captured at a friend's enchanting swear. He unleashes a torrent of harsh words, inundating my phone with fervent messages and ominous threats. He then seemingly discovers my boyfriend's cousin's phone number to send a message about me, expressing to him just how much he longs to rekindle what we once had. He then sent me a message expressing his gratitude to the heavens for our separation, re-ing the fact that I chose to end the pregnancy, and daring to accuse me of infidelity. My former lover was a tale of deceit, claiming I had ventured to his car, engaging in all manner of indiscretions, and that I intended to end our relationship. It was a web of falsehood spun with such audacity. He went so far as to create messages that I was compelled to present to my boyfriend. My heart ached when this charming man recently professed his desire to marry me, promising to embark on a journey of self-improvement, all while hinting at the tantalizing possibilities that the future might hold for us do. Keep in mind he is the most seasoned among them. All my heart fluttered with an unsettling yet intriguing sensation. It feels as though my happiness is tethered to his presence, as if my joy is forbidden in his absence. The complicated truth is that I occasionally find myself lost in thoughts of him, perhaps idealizing what our connection might have blossomed into. To Jordan, it didn't truly tarnish the love I currently cherish. As I mentioned, my current partner possesses a charm that starkly contrasts with my past. He exhibits a remarkable understanding that I might not have shown had our roles been reversed. Our hearts ache for you. He remains a captivating enigma, yet his possessiveness lingers like a shadow. He comes to understand that the sharp edges of his past provocations no longer elicit the same response from you as they once did during your time together. He now wields the knowledge of your heart's secrets, compelling you to dance to his desires even in your moments apart. Exercise caution, everything remains as it was. He continues to dance to the same tune. He simply donned a new shirt, and you're well aware of that fact. And our final tale unfolds with yet another intriguing entanglement of relationships filled with unexpected twists. Take a moment to indulge in this. My 26-year-old boyfriend believes that my 25-year-old girlfriend has developed an unusual fascination with him after her visit last weekend, which certainly raised some eyebrows. Backdrop: my sister and I have always shared an intimate bond, reveling in each other's company and delighting in our shared passions and dreams. We find ourselves drawn together by the enchanting threads of our shared upbringing, woven from the same environment, rich with cherished events and memories that linger like a sweet whisper in the night. I have always perceived it as her admiring me as if I were the older brother she longed for. Our souls danced to the same rhythm, entwined in a shared appreciation for art, music, philosophy, and the intricacies of politics, those essential threads that weave our lives together. It seems I have come to cherish this intimate bond with my sister, a sentiment that lingers even now, that is, until my beloved revealed her daring secret. Setting the scene, I departed from my quaint hometown and ventured a few states away, a journey of approximately 4 hours, give or take. I reside here in splendid solitude. My sister remains nestled close to our parents and the place of our childhood, making her visits a delightful relationship filled with anticipation. She delights in wandering through the city, savoring coffee, capturing moments with her camera, and indulging in leisurely conversations. She has always possessed the enchanting allure, and we have consistently indulged in those delightful escapades. My beloved, with whom I have shared 9 enchanting months, has crossed paths with Haley on 3 delightful occasions. Each encounter has culminated in a dramatic clash of passions. It's quite the predicament, isn't it? We've parted ways on 2 occasions, all due to the delicate nature of her feelings, which seem to be stirred whenever I spend time with my sister. During her visits, my girl friend expressed that she feels as though we are intentionally keeping our distance, when in truth we have simply arranged to spend time together. With her in mind, she desires to spend the entire weekend in our enchanting company. My girlfriend remarked that my sister has an oddly intense fascination with me. She remarked on the peculiar charm of our weekend together, sipping coffee and exploring the city, capturing moments in parking decks and parks, both adorned in cozy flannels and a beanie. In other words, adorning ourselves in a similar fashion. How delightful it was in relationship of the heart that seemed more fitting for lovers than for siblings. I inquired whether the situation would shift in its essence should it be a brother or a parent in place of my sister. She has come to the rather intriguing conclusion that my sister's infatuation with me has been the silent architect behind the demise of my last 2 relationships. It seems she is now intent on sabotaging my current one, unwilling to share the spotlight with another woman, vying for my affection whispers of the heart so much. To savor it must be acknowledged that my beloved grapples with anxiety and OCD, which undeniably adds an intriguing layer of tension to our interactions, influencing the way she expresses herself and engages with me. I was simply seeking to savor a weekend with my sister, gracing me with her presence. I arranged a delightful evening with my beloved and my sister, culminating in a charming surprise visit to her workplace. One enchanting night, Jordan, my beloved, has woven a tale in her mind, believing that my sister harbors disdain for her and wishes to keep her at a distance. We intentionally left her out of our plans all weekend. This left her utterly enchanted. What you and your sister shared seems perfectly delightful, not at all peculiar or excessively intertwined in one another's affairs. It seems your girlfriend harbors a touch of insecurity regarding your interactions with other women, even if one happens to be your sister. One can only hope she refrains from such behavior when you're in the company of friends. My dear, I trust that the two of you will find a way to navigate this delicate matter, allowing her to overcome her insecurities, lest this lingering concern continue to cast a shadow over your connection. It is truly a gift the way you and your sisters share such an exquisite connection, especially when one observes the myriad of families and relationships that lack that enchanting chemistry. Jordan, it is quite admirable that you are prepared to pause for a moment, allowing yourself the grace of reflection, perhaps seeking a fresh perspective to illuminate your path.